Anne Bonny, probably the most famous female pirate in history. You could find her on trading cards, movies and television, and even romance novels. So today on History of Pirates, we're going to go over the top 10 facts about Anne Bonny you probably didn't know. Now, before I begin, I just want to say this. The history surrounding Anne Bonny has been debated since the 1700s. While some will agree that the facts that I'm going to state in this video are true, others will debate and say no, she was nothing more than a brothel worker that was hired at one point by Calico Jack Rackham to perform her services aboard the pirate ship. They ended up getting caught. The judge released her, and she finished out her days laughing at the stories that were being told about her and working at a brothel. With that being said, the majority of the facts I'm going to share come from a general history of pirates. So take that for what it's worth. Number 1. Anne Bonny is believed to be born around 1698. She is the daughter of the Irish lawyer William Cormac and of the maid working in the household. When Cormac's wife found out that he got another woman pregnant, she left him. He then later assumed custody of Anne, but the word quickly spread around town and he lost most of his clientele. He then took his new family to Charleston, South Carolina, but sadly, Anne's mother died of typhoid fever when she was just 13 years old. Number 2. When Anne was just 18 years old, her father wanted her to marry a local man and work on their plantation, but Anne refused. So in 1718, she married a sailor named John Bonny, and they headed out to the Bahamas. Anne's husband later became an informant for the governor of the Bahamas, Woodes Rogers. Becoming bored in her marriage and not seeing the adventure she was hoping to find, she began to become involved with the pirate John Calico Jack Rackham. He fell in love with Anne and offered to pay her husband to divorce her, which was a common practice at the time. But John Bonny refused. And at the time, Anne could be severely whipped and even arrested for this crime. In August of 1720, she abandoned her husband completely and assisted Calico Jack Rackham in stealing the sloop, the William, from the Nassau Harbor on New Providence. Number 3. Anne Bonny had quite the reputation in the town she grew up in. An attractive girl with red hair and a fiery temper to match. Some of the stories were that she stabbed and killed a servant girl with a table knife because she didn't like the way she was being looked at. But the one story that everyone was talking about was about a young man who tried to sexually assault her in a tavern. Well, she put that man in the hospital for several weeks and he almost died. And upon his release from the hospital, he was unable to walk. Number 4, and this one is my personal favorite. As her and Calico Jack were roaming the seas for their next victim, they came upon a French vessel. Anne Bonny took a mannequin, the ones used by dressmakers, and smeared it with fake blood. As they approached the vessel, she stood over that fake corpse wielding an axe, and that persuaded the entire crew of the French vessel to surrender without a fight. Number 5. Anne Bonny will forever be linked to another fierce female pirate, Mary Read. They both served together under Calico Jack. What's fascinating about this is that most pirates and sailors considered it bad luck to have women on board the ship. But as soon as their reputations began to grow, they became the focal point of many pirate stories. They were even the focal point of the book, A General History of Pirates. When these two would fight with their crew, they would fight with their shirts open. Number 1, to distract the men that they were fighting. And number 2, to let them know you were just killed by a woman. Number 6. Anne Bonny knew and hung out with some of the most famous pirates we know today, such as Blackbeard, Sam Bellamy, of course Calico Jack Rackham, Mary Read, Benjamin Hornigold, and several others. Imagine that party in Nassau, Bahamas. Well, that was a big pirate party for some time, but having them all together and just singing the old tunes and drinking up all the rum, I'm sure they had some amazing stories to tell. Number 7. While Calico Jack and the crew of the Revenge were hosting a party in October 1720, they were attacked by a pirate hunter, Jonathan Barnett. Bonny and Reed were on deck and they noticed a ship approaching. Realizing it was a pirate hunter, they shouted and warned the rest of their crew, most of whom were too drunk to even respond. Bonny and Reed put up a fierce fight, but Calico Jack ran out and yelled for quarter. If you don't know what that means, basically he was begging for mercy. Even though Bonny and Reed put up a fierce fight, they were overpowered and captured along with the rest of the crew. Number 8. The entire crew was taken to Jamaica where they were to be tried, sentenced, and hung. Calico Jack was allowed to see Anne Bonny one more time before his execution. She looked at him and said these famous words: "If you had fought like a man, you needn't be hanged like a dog." Anne Bonny and Mary Read begged for mercy, stating that they were both with child, and under the English common law, they were not allowed to execute a woman if she was pregnant. Mary Read died in prison, either from catching fever or it was during childbirth. Number 9. According to the Oxford Dictionary of National Biography, Anne Bonny's father managed to pay the ransom for her daughter and bring her back to South Carolina. Soon after, she gave birth to Jack Rackham's child, and in 1721, she remarried to a Joseph Burleigh. They had 8 children, and she lived to be a respectful woman. She died at the age of 84 and was buried on April 25th, 1782. Number 10. The true fact in all of this is that we may never know the true story of Anne Bonny. Her life and the mystery around it will be scrutinized until the end of time. I wonder if she could look down today and see what people are saying about her life, what she would think about all this. Let us know in the comment section below if you knew all these facts, or did we leave one of them out? We'd love to read about it. Also, if you're not a member of this channel, why not become one today? You get all the exclusive past pirate podcasts that are just exclusively for our members. Thanks for watching. This is History of Pirates.